In this online course, we've worked mostly with the IDE, and signatures for transactions were generated directly from seed phrases, like here. For example, in our tests files, we just used single variable with our seed phrase, and we just signed transactions using this seed phrase. In Web3 world, those who control seeds will control all corresponding accounts activities, like transactions, data, digital assets, and interaction with smart contracts. So a seed must be well protected and at the same time easy to use by clients. There are a couple of tools which allows us to reach this dream, that we can ask users to sign transaction securely. At the same time, they can store their keys without any fear that somebody can steal their funds. One of those tools is Waves Keeper, which is a browser extension that allows users to manage their accounts with keys and interact securely and seamlessly with Waves-enabled web services and dApps. I prepared one simple page about Waves Keeper and all its features, so you can open this page. You'll find a link in the description of this video. You can open this page and see how it works with all the descriptions, including technical descriptions. Now I'm going to talk a bit about technical implementation details. First, of course, Waves Keeper should be installed and users should have an account in the Waves Keeper. If so, Waves Keeper always injects a Waves Keeper object into the global scope of the page. So we can open the console, right here, Waves Keeper, and we will see all the available functions in the Waves Keeper extension. I'm not going to talk about all these functions. The only thing I want to say is that you can find the list of functions, available methods in the documentation. The link would be provided in the description also. So feel free to read it and to find the most interesting functions you can use. Here I just want to run simple examples. First of all, we can ask users with Waves Keeper to authorize our application. They will see something like this. They will see a window that user, we ask you to sign this data. They can sign, they can authorize this application, and then the application gets access to user's address. Now you know the user's address. Let's run another code. Here we have another example. Let's try this, and here we have the whole result of the auth function. Here we have the host, name of the function, prefix, address, public key, signature. We signed some data, some arbitrary data, and the version. Version is 1. We also can ask users to sign transactions. For example, here is code snippet with the signature for transfer transaction. So we will ask user to sign a transaction, and then we'll publish that transaction. We'll send this transaction to the testnet. So let's run this code, and we approved it, and great. Now we have the transaction body, and we can get transaction ID, go to the Explorer and see the transaction in the blockchain. As I already said, you can find more details in the documentation. I'll provide the link in the description. Another important thing I want to talk about is a method. Let me show you the method. Method is called sign transaction package. This function allows you to sign not only one transaction, but up to 7 transactions, and send those transactions to the network at any time. In the Waves blockchain, the transaction is valid for about 90 minutes, so you can sign transaction now and send it later to the network. After 89 minutes, for example, you can send it to the network. So you can use it in your applications, and you can ask users to sign not only one transaction, but up to 7. Great. Now I want to talk about a very cool product called Waves Signer, which is in beta stage. But this product is very promising. This is kind of abstraction layer for different signature providers. Waves Keeper is one of the signature providers. Another existing signature provider is Waves Exchange. For example, Waves Exchange stores users' private keys and seed phrases in the local storage. So using Wave Signer, you can use Waves Exchange signature provider to ask users to sign transaction using Waves Exchange user interface. I will also provide a link to the article which describes how Waves Signer works and which shows how to interact with it. Waves Signer with Waves Exchange provider does not require even browser extension. It just stores the keys in the local storage. Maybe you can say that this is not so secure as a browser extension, but this is still secure, so there is a trade-off between user experience and security. So maybe for some applications, it would be much better to use Waves Signer with Waves Exchange provider. And in the future, Waves Signer will also support Waves Keeper. With it, we are done with the code. Thank you. Waves Keeper is a very useful, convenient, and important thing in the Waves ecosystem. Users use it for storing accounts keys, sending transactions, and also for invoking dApp functions. There is another very important tool which is in beta stage right now. This is a Waves Signer. You can find more details about it in the description below. But in this video, we realized that it is very easy to integrate Waves Keeper into a dApp and make the user experience straightforward. The next video will be the last in the course. We will sum up the advantages of decentralized apps and blockchain as a data storage technology.